Our goal is to run low nines or high eights in the quarter mile.
All right, guys, quick cuts from the Daniel Green, aka Danny Diesel podcast, coming right up. Hope you enjoy. If you haven't done it yet, guys, hit the like button. Come on, make a comment. Tell us how much you like this stuff. Let's go.
Let's talk about the Ram. Let's give people the full story, because we've kind of, you talked a little bit about the engine setup, but I want to know like the progression. So if you had a compound turbo 12 valve, what was the build from there? So you bought the truck. Did it have the 12 valve in it when you bought it?
No, it didn't. When I bought it, it was already shortened. Yep. It's a very common thing to do with these chassis. It was already shortened, and it already had a roll cage in it. So that's bare bone. That's all I had.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yep. And the easiest engine at that time for me to put in, it was a 12 valve, because I already had a whole bunch of parts,
Gotcha.
laying around. So, so 2020, we ran the 12 valve until we blew it up at the ice cream cruise. And then we drove down to Texas and bought another 12 valve, put that in it, and ran the rest of the season. So a 12 valve is a really common diesel, our earlier year diesel engine. Very easy to do swaps and all that stuff with them. Kind of like an LS now, but in the diesel world, 12 valve. But it got so after 2020 season, I picked up a bunch of social media momentum per se.
Yep.
And I was talking to Jeremy Wagler, and he owns a machine shop in the diesel industry. And I was talking to him, and I said, "Hey, what would it take for you to build me basically a bulletproof 12 valve engine?"
Yep.
And while I'm talking about this story, maybe you can go onto my Facebook page and go through the truck build. I know you've done this before, but go through the truck build, and you'll see a burnt engine. There's a burnt engine on there.
Okay.
But anyways, so I was talking to Jeremy Wagler, and I said, "What will you do? What would it take for you to build me a 12 valve engine that I just can't destroy? I don't want any issues this year. I had enough issues last year. Don't want any issues this year." He said, "To be honest with you, I am not interested in building you a 12 valve."
Okay.
I said, "Okay, well, that kind of, puts me down a little bit." I said, "What are you interested, or what would spike your interest to team up with us this next year?" And he says, "I would be interested in building you a 2020 long block Cummins motor."
Dang.
And I said, "Well, hey, buddy, I might travel the country a little bit, and you might think I'm a rich boy, but I ain't a rich boy." So,
That's awesome.
So I was, so I said, "Okay," we put together a proposal, and I said, "All right, I'm going to go out and find an engine, and then we'll start from there." A brand new engine a used brand new engine would cost me about $10,000 to $13,000.
Oh yeah.
And I see you going through there.
Sorry. Yeah, I figured I would pull it up while I'm running down through here. So like,
I think no, that's the 12 valve engine.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'll keep talking. I don't think you're in the. I don't know. That was the 12 valve. Yeah, that was the 12 valve the compound turbo setup that STL Fab put together for me. You're a little bit too far. You're too far down. You're in 2019.
Okay. Gotcha.
Keep going. You're still in 2019. You still got.
Okay, so I need to go down.
Yeah, you need to keep going. No, other way.
Okay. Like,
go.
shit.
Went too far. No, you're in the old build. I have it organized on here. I'll find it real quick. But anyways, guys, I'll send it to you real quick on Messenger. I can find it. Anyways, so I was talking to Jeremy Wagler, and he says, he'll do a 2020 engine for me. I said, all right, let me see what I can find you. And so I was talking to a couple of my diesel friends, and they said, it's going to cost you about, $10,000 to $13,000 for this engine. And that's unmodified. That's strictly stock. That's a long block, no fuel, no nothing. I was like, I can't afford that.
Yeah, that's a bunch.
So what did I do? I ended up getting on eBay, and I found I ended up going on eBay and I found an engine, and so the newer Dodges, they were having issues with transmission fires.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. So I ended up finding a burnt engine, which I found it right here. I need these people they have to see this engine, okay? Because this kind of simulates or kind of tells my story. So give us check your Messenger in just a couple seconds here. All right, there you go. It's in your Messenger. Anyway, so I found this burnt engine.
And, hang on, I'm getting it pulled up. Keep talking.
So I found this burnt engine, and I told Jeremy, I said, "Hey, dude, I found an engine. It's a killer deal. It's $3,500." He said, "Send it to me." And this is the engine right here. He said, "Man, that thing looks a little rough, but send it to me, and we'll see what we can do with it." I said, "Okay." So I bought it off of eBay. I sent it to Jeremy, and while he was building the engine, I had to go around the diesel community and get all the supporting mods for this engine. Now that I've partnered with Jeremy on it, and so I ended up reaching back out to Levon. If you guys remember, an hour and 20 minutes ago, I was talking about Levon helping me with the head gaskets. I reached out to him and I said, "Hey, what can you help me with this, with this next project?" And he was all on board with it. He ended up sponsoring me a few things here and there. I got a fuel system for it, and then I already had the turbo for it, and all that good stuff. So now I'm getting back on here.
Okay. What size turbo is on your truck now?
An 85. What is that? 8596 132 turbo from Force Induction.
Dude, that's a huge turbo for a diesel. Huge.
Yeah. So I just check your Messenger. I just sent you the after picture so we can show the people what great work was done to that engine.
Almost there. I'm getting it figured out. Hang on, guys.
No problem. But anyway, so I went around the diesel community and I scrounged up parts for this build, and there's the current engine. So it went from the burn engine, and now this is the this is the newer version of it. So like I said, I went around the diesel community. I basically had to sell myself again, and I told them, I was like, "Hey, here's the engine we're working with. Here's the program we're working with." So
Dude,
now we have
wild.
Now we have a 1600 horsepower 2020 CGI block Street Fighter engine in the truck.
So, to make more than 600 or 700 horsepower in an LS, rods and pistons. I mean, is that like stuff that you do in a diesel, or is that like how are there any stock pieces left on that setup?
That engine does have stock pistons. It does have the Wagler Street Fighter rods in it. It has a stock crank. It does have a built head.
Wow.
So
That's
so
great.
the bottom end is strictly rods.
Yep, and that's badass. And
Yeah.
then cam stuff. I mean, like I'm sure
It's a
there's
stock
companies.
cam. Nope.
Wow,
Stock cam. Yep. Stock Cummins cam.
that's wild. So is a cam in a diesel like a cam in a it's not like a cam in a gasoline setup for sure at that point. So I mean, there's companies that make that stuff. Like, can you pick up another 100 horsepower, another 200 horsepower with a cam swap? I mean, like,
That's a very good question. We haven't went down the road of that just yet with the new style engines.
Yeah.
Because Cummins changed their engines in 2019. They changed the whole. They changed pistons. They changed the head design. Like, they changed a bunch of stuff. So we haven't went down that avenue yet. But hey, speaking of it, actually, yeah, we might next year.
That's cool. So, diesel RPM stuff. The newer diesels obviously turn more RPM than like a 12 valve will. What kind of RPMs are you turning in this setup?
This setup, we turn approximately about 4,500 to 5,000.
I mean, that's crazy. Like, that's not meaning that's not very many. When you start talking about like really high horsepower LS stuff, I mean, they're turning those like $8,000, 8,500.
Well, a stock diesel engine only turns like my tow truck will turn 2,800 RPMs. That's it.
That's crazy. So what kind of RPM range is because that turbo is gigantic.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to explain it to folks, like, for it to feed a turbo that big on a diesel generally takes RPM and exhaust volume. That's what turns a turbo is exhaust volume. Mm-hmm. So do you have any real boost below 2,500 RPMs? I mean, is it like nothing, and then just boom?
So to answer your question, there's not a lot of power at about 2,500.
Right.
But the power really starts coming in about 28 to 3,000 RPMs. But nitrous is our friend. Yeah.
Yeah.
When I go up to the line, and when you guys see me race the truck, I'll do my burnout, and then I will creep along. I'll hold the brake almost all the way to the floor, and I'll press the gas, kind of riding the brake. And what we're doing there is we're creating heat. Mm-hmm. We're creating heat inside the turbo, and the more heat we can get inside the turbo, it's going to start spooling. Yep. And then when I get up to the line, I press my trans brake button, and then that activates the nitrous, and nitrous will start spraying inside, and then that's what will light that big charger.
That's awesome. So what size converter is in that truck? I mean, is it like all right, back up. What trans is in it, one, and I know you said earlier, but I was turning the heater on. What trans is in it, and then what size converter is in it?
That transmission is basically, it's a stock case out of the 1995 Dodge. It's a 47 RH transmission.
What?
Yeah,
dude, that's wild.
It has all billet internals. Obviously, bigger clutch packs. Yep. The converter is from DPC Converters. It's a 4-disc converter on that. So
wow, I guess it would probably have to be to hold the amount of torque that you're turning at such a low RPM.
Yeah, we're turning 1,800 foot-pounds of torque on a switch. We lock up. That torque converter has a lockup. So when we shift into second gear, about quarter of a second in the second gear, we hit lockup, and it's full direct from the engine to the rear end. It's direct.
That's wild, dude. What software do you run diesel stuff with? Like, is it Holly is typical, LS World stuff. I mean,
It's a stock '06 ECM.
wow. Okay.
Yep.
I can't imagine the computer wizardry that would go into like that computer running that new of an engine,
Yeah, a lot of the diesel stuff is a lot different than the gas. We don't mess around a lot with the timing of the engine. We mess at least on the common rails. We don't mess around. On gas, you add more timing for more power.
Yeah.
Well, on diesel stuff, we set the timing, and then we add more injector pulse width to add more power.
Oh, I got you. Okay. And so, like Steven's built several different diesel setups, like a 12 valve and then 24 valve stuff. And so, when you talk about, 100 over injectors and things like that, like,
Right.
I mean, but the level you're at, like, I can't even imagine trying to do the software tuning for, adding extra pulse width to the injectors.
To the injector.
It's just wild, dude.
I leave that up to the other guy on the other side of my email. He just emails me the file. I put it in, and he knows what he's doing. All I know is I have to let go of the transfer brake button and go.
That's awesome. So when like Race Week is a good example, was it kind of like a single tune set and forget, get me through the week type tune? Yep. Now at an event, would you email him or call him and go, hey, I need more. It can go faster. There's more traction at this track. I mean, are you that competitive with it?
Nope, because I've struggled all year to get that chassis to hook up and go.
Yeah.
So I knew my 60-foot wasn't going to be good.
Yep.
So I knew I was just going to have to top in the truck. And we struggled at Noble trying to get a good 60-foot out of it, and we just kind of said, you know what, let's just hop in the truck. And so with a lot of your viewers, they probably have diesel trucks, and you have a tow tune, you have a street tune, you have different tunes on your truck, and the only thing we changed was like what's it called? The staging limiter. That's pretty much all we really changed. We didn't have to change tunes or anything like that.
Yep. Well, and being one of the, I think you were the only diesel truck, right? Or diesel rig all week, right? No, the Chevelle had the Duramax in it. That's right.
Well, yeah, our buddy Rick was with us, and then that rat rod. Remember that rat rod?
Oh, Bernie,
guy Bernie was there also. We did a little friendly grudge race at the where was it? I think it was I don't know where it was, but we raced each other, and yeah.
That's awesome. That truck is fast.
That truck is fast.
Yeah, he's got you by some pounds, I'm sure. But your truck's pretty light. What's that thing weigh?
Unfortunately, it only weighs about 4,000 pounds.
Well, dude, 2,000 of it's under the hood and the trans and rear, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's true. That's the issue with the truck, is it's so nose heavy. And so we're trying to figure out how to get it to transfer weight so it can actually hook and go. And I skipped geometry class in high school, and so I don't know how a 4-link works. And yeah.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, I know we saw you guys moving bars. You were changing quite a bit of stuff during the week. The few times we were able to hang out while you were wrenching on it. So do you think, like, moving forward, so it's 4-link now, do you think you'll, like, I mean, obviously you're probably going to stay 4-link, but how do you fix that? Do you scoot the engine back more? Is there room to do that? Is there, do you squat it a little bit? Like, how do you?
Our plan right now, as I scratch my head, trying to think about this, our plan currently is to we're gonna build a new fuel cell. It's gonna be about the bottom of it is a quarter inch thick mild steel.
Yes.
So we're gonna add some weight to the back. We're
Cool.
it's gonna be a 20-gallon fuel cell. The fuel cell alone is probably gonna weigh about 100 pounds.
Yep.
And with 20 gallons of fuel, 20 times 8, you're at probably another 150 pounds. So we're gonna add about 250 or so pounds to the back. We're also going to change the springs in the front and the shocks in the front because we're not too far off of our goal. Our goal is to run low 9s or high 8s in the quarter mile.
Wow, dude, that's so fast. That's so fast.
So that's our goal. We're not too far off of it. We just got to move a little bit of weight around.
Yep.
But not a lot of people, racers always want to take weight out. I need to take weight out. Well, we got to add a little bit more weight back into it.
Yep. And over the rear, because the cell's behind the axle, right? So past the rear axle is a good spot if you're trying to, leave. That's awesome. What's the fastest ET the truck's been?
I don't like to talk about the ET time because, like I said, we're top ending.
Truck. You're slow rolling out, and then
right. So the fastest mile per hour that truck's ever been was 154 miles an hour in the quarter mile.
That's awesome.
So if you do a calculator, that's probably a low 9-second, high 8-second truck.
Yep. You just got to get that thing to freaking
We just got to
leave.
get 60 foot, man.
Yep. And that would be pretty tough, even with a big tire like that, because you just can't hit it with the beans,
Well, you gotta keep in mind, I have a stock rear end. That's a stock rear end in that truck. That's yeah.
Dude, I figured it was like all kinds of beefed up in some crazy $12,000 rear axle or something.
No. That's a stock rear end in a truck. So every time I let go of the trans brake, I prayed that it would not, the pinion wouldn't shatter. So.
That's crazy. I mean, think like if somebody that was our age in the 70s was hearing that factory stuff was taking people deep in the 9s with that kind of power, they would think we were crazy. They'd be like, "There's no way." But it's all in power management. It's all in how it comes out.